Yeah. And we are back. So it looks like our Facebook algos are really screwing things up. So we are not going to be on Facebook. So I will post that on there, and then we can figure this out. Thank you for everyone just bearing with us, old men, as we figure out new technology. All right, Jeffrey.
I was talking about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, let's start that whole segment over again there. So
I just want to talk about how great of a scout I was, because I was, I had him projected. I said he's very intriguing to me. When you really dig down into the film and you watch the raw talent that a guy like Anthony Richardson has, I think he's got more talent than a guy like probably Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. Now, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are definitely better quarterbacks than Anthony Richardson is right now, but it's all going to matter about what the environment that Anthony Richardson goes to. I think if you look at a coach like Brian Daboll, right, and what Daboll was able to do this year, going from a guy like Josh Allen to a guy like Daniel Jones, being able to edit his decision making there, being able to basically turn him into the quarterback that he was, who is now asking for $45 million. If AR is able to go to a situation like that, I think he'll be very successful in the NFL. If he ends up going somewhere where they're going to try to turn him into something that he's not, he'll be out of the league in 3 to 4 years.
So when you talk about something that he's not, what is he though? And I think that's the problem that we saw at Florida is, and I know I don't know if it made it on there, but you were knocking Billy Napier and his coaching status, and how they had a lot of good players that could possibly be going to the NFL, but yet they didn't do anything.
Right.
Well, and I think that's because we saw the Jekyll and Hyde that was Anthony Richardson. We saw Anthony Richardson come out against Utah and look like an absolute Heisman winner, like a number 1 pick. And then after that, we saw brilliances here and there, but we never saw the consistency of it. Now, it's not just the play calling. I watched him miss wide open throws. I watched him run wrong plays that were obviously just lack of communication, and that could be due to the fact of new quarterback, new systems, stuff like that. However, I don't know. I think it's, when I think about a Kyle Trask, and I think about the reports that were coming out about Kyle Trask, about as far as taking so long to learn the systems and develop and be able to take over the reins, I think Anthony Richardson is along the same thing. A lot of the scouting reports that were coming out saying that, he was struggling with learning the offense, learning reads, which way to go. There's no doubt that the kid has talent. There's no doubt. I mean, we saw him just make freakishly plays. However, he is injury prone. He is a little fragile. As, draft day would say, he's a little weak in the knees. Yes, you can give me the squinty eyes, okay? But he was also hurt a lot.
It looked to me like, and this is just as an objective bystander, not somebody who has their hard-earned money, blood, sweat, and tears that's poured into a football program. From a bystander, I don't want to call myself a Gator hater, but I'm definitely not a fan.
Oh, come on, dude. You are a Gator hater.
It definitely looked to me like Anthony Richardson in the biggest moments stepped up and rose to the competition. And then when he played inferior teams, he played down to his competition.
Yeah, I would say that.
Is that a fair assessment? Like, you played terrible against, like, was it Vanderbilt? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
But then he also played great in Tennessee.
Right, and you play great against, Utah and Florida State, right? You absolutely look like the Heisman stud that we think you are. You come out to teams that you should be stepping on and stomping on, and all of a sudden you think it's a walk in the park. That just shows a little bit of immaturity, in my opinion, something that will definitely be learned in the NFL. But when I think if you cut that good tape, I think that good tape so much outweighs some of the bad tape that we see.
The potential is definitely high, right? We can both agree on that. The question
is, that's all they want, bro. That's all NFL scouts really want is like.
But with the number,
be the guy who passed.
Okay, but on the same, I mean, what you're gonna have to give up to move up to get him, is that worth a project? I think of the movie Trouble with the Curve, right? When they take the guy. Well, he's great, but he's no number 1 pick. What the hell? Nobody saw this? He's got a loop in his swing. Something similar to that. As far as you're going to give up a lot to get up to get him, especially if you plan on jumping number 1 to jump C.J. Stroud, Levi, and those teams that are also looking for a quarterback. So that's my only concern. I would say, yeah, if he's there, so if you don't move and like say you're at 4, right, like the Panthers, and he's there at 4, okay, I can agree with that. But are you going to give up 2 first-rounders and potentially a 3rd-rounder or another player for a project quarterback that you're going to roll the dice on?
No, and at the end of the day, I don't think anybody actually will. I think this is all smoke. I do think Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud will probably both go before Anthony Richardson in this draft because GMs will be a little scared off by that. And listen, if you go AR over some of these guys who you have projected as locks since these kids were, sophomores in high school, locks for the top 10 in terms of the draft, that's a bold stand to take, and I don't see any GM doing that. So I do think those 2 will go off. I could see him going before Levi's. I think Levi's is really good as well too. He's an interesting prospect to me. I would prefer Anthony Richardson over Will Levi's going forward for my football team personally.
It's just obviously it's a quarterback-driven league. Everyone's very, very hungry to find the next quarterback. And then
that's all that matters.
And I think that's where the Ravens are in a tough spot as well, is because you found a quarterback. You have him, but he wants to get paid, and which you don't have a problem with, but he wants it guaranteed. So it really puts him in a tough spot to where, like, hey, we'll pay you, but it's just not going to all be guaranteed. Just work out the contract, and you're going to get paid. So then what do? You go back to the drawing board again. You start giving up picks to try to find the next one. And if you let him go and somebody does give him a guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed, the precedence is now set. You stood on your hill and you died on that hill. And now the next quarterback that you have, you're going to have to give them a fully guaranteed contract. I feel for the Ravens front office here, man, because you are damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you do it, you're gonna set the precedence across the league that now every quarterback is gonna have a fully guaranteed contract. So what's that? So you now set that precedence with the Cleveland Browns because honestly they broke the mold, but then you solidified it, and now every other team now has to pay a fully guaranteed contract. And if you don't, and nobody else does give him a fully guaranteed contract, you stood on your hill, you won, but you're still out of a franchise quarterback now, and you're digging around again to try to find it. But on the same token, it could be where, they say no, he tests free agency, nobody gives it to him, and he comes back. I don't foresee that, but it's very, very, very interesting, man. This offseason is going to really set the future of the NFL, I think, for 3 to 5 years. And with Anthony Richardson in the Florida, I'm tired of all the hate from chat rooms talking about how Florida quarterbacks never make it in the NFL, right? And here we are again talking about another Ohio State quarterback. How many Ohio State quarterbacks have made it in the NFL? But yet every year,
who's your starting quarterback?
Has he made it yet? No, he has not made it yet. All right. Now I'll take it, but that's one. Okay, that's one. I don't know. Speaking of Florida quarterbacks, it looks like the Bucs are gonna roll the dice on Kyle Trask this year and say, fuck it, let's make it happen. Apparently, the coaches are now leaking that they have full confidence in Trask. Who knew? Apparently, all of a sudden, in the offseason where he's not working out, not doing anything, now he's the guy. Where the fuck was all of this commentations, all of this crap months ago? Is this because they don't feel like they can get anybody else? Or are we going to the Tyson point of, hey, let's take all of the dead cap hit money, let's clear the books, let's give it to the rookie, let's bring in a backup, seasoned veteran backup, and if he does great, awesome, we got our quarterback. If he doesn't, the 2024 class is great. We're there. We have cleared cap space. We can make some trades and get the quarterback of the future. I mean, should I just be on the Bucs payroll at this point?
Wow. I don't know if they would pay you after all the money that you pay them, but that's for another point to decide.
Well, we call it a refund.
I think they're raising ticket prices this year from the Glazers.
You know what? You know what's funny about that? Because I switched my ticket, so I paid it off, my balance, and my rep was very quickly to tell me, hey, just so you know, those are the ticket prices for last year. The ticket prices this year have not been set yet, so that number could change. I'm just thinking to myself, Dude, you just lost Tom Brady. You were at 104% capacity, I think I saw. They were like number 1 or number 2 as far as NFL capacity this year because they added all of those seats in the Hawks Nest. I'm like, we know it's going to be an inferior team than it was last year, but you're going to raise ticket prices. That's like the report that we came out and saw that the Chicago Bears said that they weren't going to raise ticket prices. No shit. You won 3 games last year. Who's even in that room? That says,
good for them.
I mean, who's even in the room? Hey, guys, what do you think about raising ticket price? Well, we only won 3 games this year, but we did sell out everyone. Like,
I mean, listen, way to not cave to inflation, and they're building a new stadium. Like, there's some deep pockets over there for the Chicago Bears. God bless them. I want to say the thing about Kyle Trask. Yeah, of course, you're going to change your tune as everything happens and everything unfolds in terms of, the offseason. If there's an opportunity to go get a quarterback on the cheap and be able to take advantage of that, I'm sure the Bucs will be in that situation as well. I don't think the downfall of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be as great as everybody thinks that it is, in my opinion. I do think that they're still going to have a great defense. You're probably going to lose Jamel Dean. You got to draft a corner. Safeties will be okay. Linebacking, you got to figure out what you're going to do with Levante David. Defensive line should still be absolutely fine. Offensive line will be fine. Weapons are going to be great. Running backs are going to be okay. It's all going to land on whether this kid can just man the ship. And I will say, I don't know how much worse he's going to be than what Brady was this year in certain situations. Hopefully Trask can get out of the pocket and move the pocket a little bit and be able to add that element to the game. I do love the offensive coordinator that they hired, Canales. I think he has said all the right things so far in terms of getting movement going, pre-snap, getting players in motion, reading the defense, trying to put yourself in manageable third downs. I think he's going to be really, really good. I think he does sound like head coach material one day. And this is what we were talking about with Todd Bowles as well, too. Like, listen, if Todd Bowles doesn't come out and perform this year, and Canales comes out and that offense starts rolling, there's an opportunity for him to be able to slide into that head coaching spot. I know the defense doesn't want that. I think the defense has been pretty solid under Bowles ever since he's been here, and I think he's one of the best defensive coordinators that's ever been in the NFL, in my opinion.
Well, I
think the downfall of the Bucs is very much not going to come to fruition for what people think it is.
I don't know how you can have that big of a drop when you have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on both sides of you. I mean, those guys, and this is why I think Kyle Trask will do well there, is because Kyle Trask is one of those guys who takes risks and will throw the ball up for the guys to get it. And I think that's sometimes where Brady didn't really do. He didn't throw it up there and just let Mike Evans go over 2 people, which, obviously there's got to be more interceptions as well. I think it's going to be a very, very fun year. I'm excited. The Trask jersey's coming back. We're going to get to some good seats for the year, and we're going to watch this whole thing unfold. And if it doesn't work out, at least they followed their initial path. But back to what you were saying as far as the offensive coordinator and all that, I see it the other way as far as the head coach material, because if the offensive coordinator takes the team, basically lifts it on the shoulders, and the offense dominates, and that leads to the Bucs' success, he's gone. He's not going to leapfrog Todd Bowles. I don't think that, they made that mistake with Lovey, right? When they had the coach that was going to get the head coach.
Yeah,
and they basically
Dirk Cutter. Yeah, Dirk Cutter, and that who never wanted Jameis Winston as his quarterback, and that was a whole other debacle.
Right. So my thing is, in 2 years, if they have that Bucs offense just absolutely steamrolling, it's going to make Todd Bowles look great because it's his leadership. The defense is still good and do it. The Bucs are going to be doing good. He's not going to leap for Todd Bowles. He's just going to go somewhere else. And that's just the reality that we live in. But first things first, we got to get in there. Got to get some reps in. I'm actually looking forward to it. As you know, I did get my tickets when Kyle Trask was drafted. I am a Florida guy. I would just like to see what happens. That's all. I can look at it with an impartial eye. I can look at it as a fan, as a passionate fan, because regardless if it's my secondary team or not, you want me on that sideline rooting for you. I bring the heat. I
hope that nothing but success for Kyle Trask. I hope he is the greatest Florida Gator professional quarterback in the history of the college.
I hope he's the best Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That as well.
And to go into a chat room and see and talk about how Trask is trash, this team sucks. Bro, you haven't even seen anything yet. If he's trash, we'll know about it, okay? Just calm down. Calm down. You're not going to get Baker Mayfield, okay? If you think Baker Mayfield's the answer, I got a lot of stuff to sell you, all right? So moving on off of the NFL to some NBA news around here. You know how much we love to talk about the NBA. There's a new report that was leaking about Bronny, that is the son of LeBron James, Jeff's GOAT.
I never said he was my GOAT.
Projected, yes you did, numerous times. Where's Ian? Is Ian dialing in today? Where's Ian? Where's he? I need Ian. I need Ian.
I did not say that. I called him. He didn't answer.
Son of a bitch.
Sleeping.
Yeah, what a dick. That the Orlando Magic are projected to draft him. Now, as a LeBron James appreciator, not a hater, appreciator, but a criticizer, I guess you could say. He was also came out numerous. I don't know when that report came out, saying if he was ever traded to the Orlando Magic, he would retire. Do you know
he
when
said that? Yeah, he said that on his show that he has the shop.
And how long ago was that?
Last year, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. He was like, I pick and choose where I go, and if they ever traded me, because Maverick Carter was like, oh, what if they ever trade you to Orlando? And he goes, if they traded me to Orlando, I ain't showing up. There ain't no way in hell I'm ever playing for Orlando. Listen.
So what was the reasoning behind that? Did he say, or?
Because he's LeBron James, bro. He belongs in Miami or New York or L.A. or, something like that. He doesn't belong in Orlando. How inferior of a city is that?
How does that make you feel as an Orlando Magic fan? How does that make you feel?
I don't care.
So you would not like to have LeBron James in Orlando?
I'm good with what we have now. We have like four guys who play the same position that LeBron does. Unfortunately, I also don't think, when I looked at the projection on it, it did say that the Magic would be picking 10th in that draft, which means that they missed the playoffs. I just don't see that happening next year. I think if you look at the rate that the Magic have been playing, they're definitely going to be a playoff team, which is going to put them more in the 15 to 16 range anyway. I don't know if they need another guard. I think they need bigs. I think they'll continue to need bigs because they just got rid of Mo Bamba as well. They're still going to have Markelle Fultz. They're still going to have Jalen Suggs. They're still going to have Cole Anthony. There's no room for Bronny James here. He wouldn't have a role on our team. Kel's been playing amazing lately. Have you watched any of the Magic games?
No. I just remember him being like the number one pick and then bust and then team to team, and now he's on the Magic, I guess, right?
He was never team to team.
Did he go from 76ers
to the Magic?
Oh, okay.
So
he just sat for like 3 years, 2 years of the 76ers?
Basically what happened, he was the number one pick, number one recruit coming out of high school, coming out of the Washington State. He played for Brandon Roy at the time on his high school team. I don't remember Brandon Roy from back in the day, really good NBA player, played for Washington as well too. Beautiful jump shot, drive the ball to the rim, had hops. Markelle was the man. Came out, got drafted by the Sixers. Somehow, and this is crazy too, I saw somebody tweet this, I forget who it was, but they were talking about, if you watch the college tape of Jason Tatum and Markelle Fultz, the fact that the Celtics and Danny Ainge knew to take Jason Tatum over Fultz, to me, is insane, because if you watch the college tape, Fultz just looks so much more clean, polished.
I remember watching him in the tournament. And
so Fultz gets to the Sixers with all those young guys. Remember, they had all those number one picks. Michael Carter Williams, who was Rookie of the Year. They get Markelle. You got Embiid. All these guys. And he hurt his shoulder. And then he went through a big mental block where it was really, he couldn't get his shooting motion back. He couldn't get his arm up above his shoulder to be able to shoot. The Magic ended up trading for him for Jonathan Simmons, who was a journeyman and like a second-round pick. They ended up getting Fultz in. They let him sit. They let him rehabilitate. They worked on his jump shot. He just re-signed a big contract 2 years ago, I believe. They still got 3 years left on his deal. He's been nothing but amazing. He picks up full court defense all the way, drives the ball to the hoop. He's got one of the best percentages in the NBA for field goal percentage because he makes so many shots around the rim. If he could just up the three-pointer a little bit, he would be absolutely unstoppable.
Good. Loved it. We all love a good comeback story, right?
Absolutely.
You know, really the only other thing that I have to talk about today is the world of boxing. Do you watch the world of boxing, Jeffrey?
I don't. I mean, I did see that we're gonna get the Ryan Garcia and Tank fight, so that's gonna be awesome.
I was flipping through the other day, and I happened to catch one Jake Paul talking to Stephen A. Smith on First Take.
Yes.
Now, to me, I thought Jake Paul was, and I can't believe we're talking about it on the show, but apparently I got a little time to fill because I didn't feel like slandering LeBron James anymore with you.
Probably for your best bet.
We can go back to it. We can go back to it. We can go right back to it.
Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about it then. For those of you who wonder what we're talking about, I'm talking about LeBron James.
This is what you motherfuckers do, bro. You people who decide.
You people.
Yeah, you people who decide that you don't like somebody, and because you don't like that person, or because you feel that they threaten your goat, or whatever it is.
Oh, now we're throwing some serious shots here.
You want to pick and choose, right? You're just like the media. You want to pick and choose exactly
we are the
what
media,
you show.
Dipshit.
Whatever. you want to pick and choose these small little clips and then zoom in on them and say, see, he's a bad guy. He's a bad teammate. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. Selfish.
I'm just showing the clip, and I want to get your opinion on it. Because I happened to watch this clip the other day. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on the stream here for those of you that are watching live here. But you'll see in the top left here, we're talking about LeBron James breaking the scoring record. Okay. Now, when we talked about it before, I just said, I saw the Anthony Davis look, and then I was like, it was weird. It felt like it was his accomplishment alone, which it is. I will give him credit for that, and I'm not here to judge anything. All I'm saying, there's a reports coming around out of Los Angeles talking about the not the demise, the lack of discord in the locker room playing with LeBron James. We can agree with that, correct?
I don't understand what that means.
As far as the synergy in the locker room and on the court with LeBron's team.
It's been off this year.
Right, it's been off. So when we look at this right here, and this game right here. So we're going to go ahead and show it here. James, he's got it. Here he goes. Get ready to score. Yeah. Boom. Great. Breaks the record. This is what I'm talking about. Goes down the other end. There's not one Los Angeles Laker player around him.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's right there.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's at the scorer's table. Okay. Then if you watch, you got a few players over here that have their hands up celebrating. And then this is what I get. He looks over right at him. Doesn't acknowledge anybody. But starts calling people off of the stands. His family, which is obviously great. That's fine. You want to celebrate with your family. But, I'm just saying. Not one Laker player interacted with him during that entire celebration.
Oh my God!
If you look at the Oklahoma, if you look at the Oklahoma Thunder bench, they're like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah, because they knew the quarter was almost over. They were trying to win a basketball game. Let me ask you a question: who was on the court with LeBron when he broke the record?
When he broke the record?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me go back. I know I saw Westbrook.
Westbrook, who's been obviously one of his best friends, right? I mean, he just shipped him out of town for absolutely.
Yeah, hold on.
Thomas Bryant.
hold on. We're gonna do this again because he said it didn't show up on the stream. So here, I'm gonna move this over here. I'm not gonna be able to see your face while this happens. I know this is gonna be very tragic, but I'll still be able to hear you. Okay. So here's the play again, so everybody can see.
Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot at history.
Thomas Bryant.
Now 31. Who's 31?
Thomas Bryant.
That dude's trying to celebrate with him. He's trying to celebrate with him.
No longer on the team.
Shocker.
Russell Westbrook, no longer on the team.
Hold on, but look.
What do you want him to go over and pick up Austin Reeves and run around the court? What? He's got a bunch of guys on the team besides AD who are literally.
There's 31 clapping right for him. Doesn't acknowledge any of them. Looks over all of them. Walks away from them. Then he goes and gets his family. Like I said, family, obviously, yes. Bring them all on. That's all I'm saying. And
what are you saying exactly? You're saying LeBron's a bad teammate?
No. I said it from the beginning that I thought that LeBron James was out for himself pretty early on in his career, as far as wanting to break stats and be a part of that. And I don't know I don't know if that necessarily shows that he's a bad teammate. I just think that that's weird, right? I just think that it's weird that not one teammate interacted with him in probably one of the most important moments of his entire NBA career. Not one NBA player came over and did anything.
I'm going to assume the NBA does talk to them and say, hey, listen, when he breaks the record, this is exactly the protocol that's going to happen.
Don't celebrate with your team?
No, not that. But, I mean, they could say, listen, we're going to do this. There's going to be this moment. We're going to stop the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is going to come out. LeBron's going to give a speech. They have a video montage. We're going to do all these things, so on and so forth. I'd be curious to see if there was a video that you had of when he was done with all that, when he walked back over to the bench.
I don't know.
But it's okay. We don't need that. It doesn't fit your narrative, so you're not going to show that.
No, but see, that's where you're wrong, is because I'm a sponge of information. I will absorb and gladly digest whatever argument you want to give. As far as that goes, I just thought that was weird. I
agree. I agree. Like looking through your teammates straight directly to the stands to call people down. Maybe he was just wrapped up in trying to choreograph the moment. I'm not sure. It is weird. You're 100% correct, but I don't think it says anything about LeBron. You used it as a gotcha moment earlier when we were doing our pre-show stuff. So I just wanted to say, fuck you.
Well, I mean, when you put that much emphasis on it, and no, I mean. And what you were talking about is it threatens my GOAT. He doesn't threaten my GOAT because you're never going to change my mind. Just like anything else, I think it's most people already have their GOATs and that's who it is. And I've said it over and over again. LeBron James is one of the best, if not the best, all-around NBA basketball player to ever play the game. There was just something special about Jordan that I don't see with LeBron, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just the way it is. I don't know. So anyway, I just thought that was really weird, man. And then there was no, and even the Oklahoma City bench, right? They showed the camera on. There was no reaction. Like, you just witnessed something that probably will never happen again, regardless if you're a fan of the man or not. You just witnessed something that will never happen again. One of the greatest moments of all time with one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, I think you got to stand up, at least show some appreciation or have some reaction. Like, I just looked down at the bench and there's like, oh, great. Now we got to watch a speech in the third quarter. Super.
Bunch of haters.
Speaking of haters, let's get back to this Jake Paul shit.
Yeah, so what happened with Jake Paul?
So apparently he's fighting Tommy Fury, who is actually, I guess, his first reputable boxer that he's ever fought. I mean...
I don't know if this is actually happening. It's been rumored to be happening for a long, long time now.
No, it's secured. I think it's Saturday. I think it's this weekend.
No way.
Yeah. February 26th. Yeah. Sunday?
Wow.
No, not on a Sunday? Yeah, Sunday, February 26th. It's happening, apparently. Are you going to pay for the Jake Paul fight?
No.
You know,
We'll find an illegal way to download it and watch it. It'll be fine.
we do not promote that, and that is an off-the-cut remark that apparently somebody has interjected into Jeffrey's mouth. We do not promote anything of that nature. We do not condone that nature. Please stream all of your information the legal way. Pay the money, because as Jeff said, the people deserve it, okay? They deserve the money. So please pay for it. Thank you.
You need
Now-
me to give money to Jake Paul and Tommy Fury? For what?
For Tommy Fury, for not Jake Paul. I mean, that's what this whole thing is. You got Jake, and what's the other dude's name?
Logan?
Logan. You know, last time
Have you tried the Prime drink yet? The Prime?
No, but I just saw that they got signed for UFC. Like, it's the official drink of UFC now.
Bro, these dudes.
The rich get richer, huh? You know,
Good for them, bro.
Andrew Tate
Like,
called them out. Is that, you know, that he's just a product, a product of the system, that he signed some papers to say what he needed to say, and he is going to be taken care of the rest of the way. Good for them. Good for them. Because they're just an island boy.
So it will be an interesting fight. Listen, Jake Paul can fight. People think that he's just a YouTuber. He can box. Like, he's knocking dudes out. Obviously, they're not in their same realm, right? Because they're mostly UFC fighters who are retired. But he's standing up and going toe to toe, taking shots and landing stuff. I mean, he can throw.
I would want to fight him.
A winner take all purse of $13 million.
Yeah, so I did see a clip of the press conference where he's calling him out, and because apparently, you know, Jake Paul pretty much tried to emasculate him, saying basically that he was paying him to take the fight, because Jake Paul obviously has all the money, he gets the lion's share of it or whatever. So he said, well, how about this? If you win, you keep it all, and if I win, I keep it all. I keep the money that you're paying him. There was, of course, some back and forth, and apparently it's a done deal. I don't know. You know, boxing to me is just a ludicrous sport. It's probably one of the most shadiest sports, most fixed sports that there is. We've seen some really, really crazy boxing outcomes come. You know, when I grew up in the Mike Tyson era, luckily I had one of my friends' dad that would always buy the Mike Tyson's fight, except for like after the third one, he stopped buying them because the fights only lasted 30 seconds. And it was, you know, $100 back then.
I know, it's so weird. My wife keeps coming back to the well too, even though it only lasts 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Hey! I don't know, man. I just look forward to seeing the clips. Obviously, we know Jake Paul hasn't fought anybody of that caliber as far as boxing goes. Apparently, this Tommy Fury is the real deal. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
To me, it's just another thing to have clicks and likes.
All right, I'll put money on Jake Paul. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
Jake Paul's winning this fight, but I am more excited for the Ryan Garcia Gervonta Davis fight, which is going to be coming up. They just officially put pen to paper on it. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to watch that. It's going to be epic. I believe that's in April, coming up in April. Should be a really good one. Ryan Garcia was another kid who was a YouTuber who has hands. If you have a chance to like just Google or YouTube Ryan Garcia and watch the speed with which he strikes people, it's very impressive, and that should be a really good fight for the belt as well.
Well, I think a lot of that stuff came out about with, like, I think it was Keemstar and some others that started doing YouTube fights after they saw the success of Jake. So they started putting YouTubers together, and some older gamers and streamers. I know that FaZe Jarvis fought one as well, where, you know, because he got banned from playing Fortnite for life, so now he's a boxer. I don't know. I think it's just more of the personalities and the followings, getting the pay-per-views, getting the ratings, watching the shows. I think that this fight is fixed. I think that they're all fixed. I know that. I don't know.
Jake trains for real. Like Jake.
There's
Jake
no doubt.
Paul,
There's
like,
no doubt that the kid can
for
fight.
Real and can fight.
There's no doubt that the kid can fight. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when you look at some of the other ones where, you know, they were tipping off when they dropped the gloves. You know, he knocks him out cold right after that. There's been some questionable events around these fights, and there's been some questionable events around all of his fights, especially who he's fighting. He's fighting Anderson the Spider Silva, you know, not MMA style. It's just like, okay, what are we doing here, huh? We're just getting the clicks and the likes, and that's fine. Get your bag, son. I will not be buying it. I will look forward to your recap after you purchase it.
I unfortunately have to work on Sunday, so I will be at work. I doubt that I'll be out in time to be able to see it. But
Probably won't start until midnight, right? Where's it at?
Usually those Sunday fights, they start them early. So it'll be like at Madison Square Garden, and it'll be at like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Bro,
the main event.
What is this called? It looks like Diarrhea Arena. It's in Saudi Arabia. It's DIRIYAH.
Sponsored by Live.
Diarrhea. Dude, it's the Diarrhea Arena. It just is what it is. Starts at 10 o'clock. God, what time is it there? Like 6 in the morning?
I don't know. Well, so I saw this thing because he went on his brother's podcast, and his brother said something to him, and he was like, "Oh, no, I just got done doing this." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, well, because of the time that I'm fighting, well, because of what time it is, I'm training literally like I think he wakes up at like 10 o'clock at night, and then he trains until like 10 o'clock in the morning the next day, and then does his like nightly routine or whatever." Just to make sure that his body
is 8 hours ahead, so that will be 6 o'clock in the morning. What a fuck? What?
Yeah, just to make sure that his body is at the optimal. Like he's been doing this for months. He said to where his body is now timed and ready to go for that time of.
Bro, a 6 a.m. fight. Wow. But like you said, I mean, you just got to keep your internal clock different. That's what I tried to do. And I just get sick.
Yeah, he said it takes a couple months for him to get it down.
So he's been training like that here based on their time. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
At the Diarrhea Arena. All right. Well, that's good.
What else we got this weekend? You got Honda Open going on right now. When does new season of F1? Is that?
I think it's Sunday.
Today? Tomorrow?
I think it's Sunday.
Sunday?
I think it's the 26th.
Sunday?
Yeah.
And then first race is coming up next week, right?
Sunday. I believe so.
First race next week?
I believe so. Let me just double check here. March 5th, yeah. March 5th is the next race. So we'll be doing our F1 recap, or a little kickoff on Friday to get ready for that. And then next week we're going to have a little bit of different schedule. So it looks like we figured out what the streaming problem is, and it's Facebook. So we are no longer going to be streaming to Facebook. We're going to stream towards YouTube and Twitch only.
Facebook is my entire demographic.
It's not working, bro. Get on the phone with the Zuck and figure it out. But as soon as we cut Facebook off, we had no drops, no frame drops. The stream is just rolling. So for that, I apologize, Spectrum.
Those are the people our age.
Today you have
oh my god.
Today you have not figured it out. So yep. So wait a minute. Was that
right at noon? We get the text from him. Sorry, boys.
Oh yeah.
So going forward, we're gonna be doing things a little bit differently. Wednesdays we will have a golf segment where we're gonna be doing some golf previews, betting scenarios for you guys to take top 20, top 10. We got a couple of guys who have come up with their own algorithm, who have their own numbers, their own spreadsheet. They're gonna come on. They're gonna give you that talk. We will have Bay Hill tournament starting next week as well too. So that'll be something that we'll have going on. Definitely look forward to that. We're really about to get into the golf season here. Going forward, we hope to do shows maybe 3 times a week, possibly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I definitely want to get a Wednesday show in every week just to make sure we do get that golf content because I think it'll be very important and it'll help you guys out there hopefully make a little bit of money as well too.
Are we going to live stream from the Bay Hill? Friday live show from Bay Hill? The wheels are turning, boys and girls. Look out.
Let's see what happens. We can get Froggy maybe.
Yeah, so we will not have a show on Monday this upcoming. We'll be on Wednesday and Friday next week, same time, 11 o'clock. We'll put out all of the stuff on Facebook to ensure that everyone that follows and listens on Facebook has the links for the YouTube and the Twitch. I don't believe that you need an account for YouTube. So we'll see. We'll just see how that goes. But apparently that is the issue with the multi-stream. So we apologize for that. Thanks for sticking around with us. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the weather wherever you're at. Hopefully it's not cold. I know there's